Today, we're diving into a high-stakes battle. It's one that's being fought every single day, right now. It's a contest between one of the most powerful forces of nature on the entire planet and a massive feat of human engineering that's just barely holding it back. So let me just start with a kind of a wild question. What if America's most important river, the mighty Mississippi, just decided it didn't want to flow through New Orleans anymore? What if it just decided to, pack up and leave? It honestly sounds like something out of a disaster movie, but it's a very real threat that geologists and engineers have been fighting for decades.
All right, let's get into the how of this, because the river isn't just some static blue line on a map. No, it's a dynamic, incredibly powerful force that kind of has its own agenda. And for a very long time, it's had an escape plan in the works.
And look, this isn't some new thing. Rivers are always on the move, always looking for the most efficient, the easiest path to the sea. It's just what they do. And the Mississippi is no different. It's actively trying to ditch its current channel for a route that's just plain better, a geological shortcut, if you will. This right here, this explains everything. It's all about simple physics. Its current path down to New Orleans is longer and has a pretty gentle slope. But right next door, there's this other river, the Atchafalaya, that offers a path that's shorter, steeper, and way faster. I mean, gravity is literally pulling the Mississippi towards that new path, and that pull just gets stronger and stronger every single year. Now, a river changing course might sound like just a neat fact of nature, but the consequences, if this particular river makes its move, well, they'd be anything but natural. They would be, and I'm not exaggerating here, completely catastrophic. And we're not talking about a slow-moving problem. If the Mississippi finally succeeds and captures that Atchafalaya Channel, the experts warn it could trigger an economic collapse almost instantly. That word on the slide, overnight, is so key. That's just how fast the commercial artery of the entire country could be severed. Think about it. The port of New Orleans, and really the whole port system of southern Louisiana, would basically be left high and dry with a new, much smaller river. And this isn't just any port. It's an absolutely critical gateway for American goods to get to the rest of the world and for the world's goods to get to the U.S. And if that happens, the economy gets paralyzed. I mean, just imagine, grain from America's entire agricultural heartland, oil and gas from the Gulf, manufactured goods moving in and out, all of it, every last bit, depends on the Mississippi staying right where it is. If the river moves, all that infrastructure becomes almost useless in a flash. So, faced with this potential doomsday scenario, what do you do? Well, humanity had to respond. The answer wasn't to try and reason with the river, but to build something truly monumental to force it to stay put. Basically, a concrete leash on one of nature's most powerful beasts. So back in the 1950s, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers realized this wasn't some far-off, distant problem. No, this was coming, and it was coming soon. So by 1963, they'd built this thing called the Old River Control Structure. But just 10 years later, in '73, a massive flood came through and nearly ripped the entire thing apart. It was a terrifying reminder of just how relentlessly the river was pushing to get free.
So what is this thing exactly? The best way to think of the Old River Control Structure, or ORCS for short, is as a giant, powerful faucet. It's not a dam, it's not trying to stop the river. It's a really complex system of gates designed to carefully manage the river's flow, forcing it to split in a very, very specific way.
And its mission, which was actually mandated by Congress, is crystal clear. The structure sits right at that critical fork in the road. Its job is to make sure that exactly 70% of the water keeps going down the main channel towards New Orleans while it diverts the other 30% safely down the Atchafalaya. It's this incredibly precise balancing act, and it has to be performed perfectly, 24/7. But here's the catch. This incredible engineering marvel isn't some set-it-and-forget-it solution. This isn't a battle that we won back in 1963. No, this is an unending battle that's being fought every single minute of every single day. That structure is under a constant, absolutely immense amount of pressure. The Mississippi River never stops pushing, never stops scouring the riverbed, never stops testing the limits of our concrete and steel. Every flood season, every single second, it is trying to break free. And that leads us to a really sobering thought from the people who know this best. Despite our incredible engineering, many geologists believe that we're essentially just fighting a losing battle against a geological certainty. In their view, the question isn't if the river will win, but when. This entire system, this thing that's so vital to the American economy, is a true testament to human ingenuity. But it's also a constant, incredibly tense standoff with one of the most powerful forces on Earth. For now, the concrete leash is holding, but that leaves us with one critical, unanswered question. For how long?